What's up guys, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be jumping into what you should be doing when you turn 18 and how to set yourself up financially for the future so you can make some absolute bread. I'm going to outline this step by step, going in depth on what you need to do, how to do it, and why it actually matters. If you're over 18, don't click off the video because if you haven't done these yet, you really need to get on this. ASAP, no Rocky. At 18 years old, you officially become an adult in the United States, and this is a large growth section of people's lives. This is when people can just dramatically change their lives. This is what you need to be doing as a teen to set yourself up for financial freedom in the future. And yes, if you do all this stuff, in your 40s, you will be able to retire, travel the world, and do what you like to do instead of those graduating people around you who are going to be stuck in a 9-to-5 job making some other bum rich. Just implement a couple of these things and I promise you, you will come out strides ahead of your peers. I've done a lot of research, talked to a ton of mentors, and done a lot of studying. So if you could like this video, it would really mean a lot to me and I really appreciate it. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. Step 1, get a credit card. And the reason why is because this is when you need to start building credit. This allows you to build credit and this opens up a lot of avenues for you. It'll allow yourself to get better mortgage rates in the future if you want to invest in real estate and other business ventures. And of course, I know
all credit cards are scams.
it's all bad. But that's all fake because if you know how to play the system, you can really get out ahead. Credit cards are pretty damn simple to understand. You just need to pay off what you charge to that card all in full by the time it's due. All you need to do is charge a couple bucks on it each month, maybe just one tank of gas, and you'll slowly build credit and this can really help you in the future. Now, one that I really value is the Discovered Cash Secured card. The reason I like this so much is because one, it's free, it will give you cash back on almost any purchase, and your credit limit is what you will deposit. So if you put down $500, you will get a credit line of $500, and I just really like the simplicity. This might take you 10 to 20 minutes tops, and it can really set you up for a good path in the future. Number 2, if you don't already have a bank account in your name that you can access, definitely get that done. I really suggest that you go and look at different bank accounts around you. And the reason why is because a lot of bank accounts will like to slide in these hidden fees, maintenance, and even like you'll have to go and buy checks. $40 for checks, get out of here. There's 3 that I would definitely look into. One being Ally Bank, that's completely online, which yeah, there's a downside that there's not a physical location that you can go into, but they do have a lot of upside. One being completely free, they have no minimums, and they offer 1.9% on your savings, which can really add up. Again, more for just an emergency fund, not really your investments, but it's still nice to gain interest on it. My personal favorite would be a local credit union, and the reason why is because you will always get really great service and they're more flexible on loans. So if you ever want to scale real estate or anything like that, they really can help you out in that department. It's typically no fees, and again, as I said, the financing is quite easy. And then if you don't like the idea of a completely electronic bank or a local credit union, you can always go and look at good old Bank of America. And the reason why I say this is because if you're in that age bracket of about 18 years old, they do a lot of incentives where there's no fees, no monthly minimums, or anything like that. Now, for my viewers that are above 18, don't worry, Bank of America is still another great option. The only thing is that you will have to have about $1,500 in your account, so they won't charge you any fees or anything like that. If you're below that, then unfortunately they will charge you. But again, I cannot stress this enough, no monthly BS fees because that will eat away at your worth. The reason I say this is because this is the first step for you to manage your own money like a grown adult, and it can really benefit you in the future. Be financially responsible. That's really the key here. Step 3 is set up a Roth IRA. And I don't really want to get into a Roth IRA a lot, but long story short, Roth IRAs are individual retirement accounts that have a lot of tax advantages. Long story short, if you put money in there, you can take it out at 59.5, and when you start taking it out, you will not be taxed on that money, which is very beneficial because with compound investing, you will have millions in that account, and I promise you that, if you consistently add to it on a regular basis and are very disciplined with that. The reason why this is such a great advantage for these young adults is because when you're that young, typically you're not making that much money, meaning that you're in a lower tax bracket, so everything that you're putting into that Roth IRA, when it comes out the back end tax-free, it's just so good to have millions of dollars tax-free in your pocket. And again, Start as early as possible because time is the most valuable thing you have when investing, because the compounding investing will just make money on the money that you made, and then it's just a massive snowball effect of making money on the money on the money on the money. You get the point. Let's say you're 18, you have $0 in your pocket, and you're working, but you're not making too much money, and you just put aside about $200 a month, which is nothing crazy and really doable if you can just be disciplined on your spending. Stretch out 41 years until you're 59 and a half from your 18th birthday at a 9.8% average, which has been the historical average. That gives you a whopping $1.2 million in that account. Now you can set up a Roth IRA with any of the large brokerages such as TD Ameritrade, which I personally use, Fidelity, or Vanguard. Step 4, don't go and get yourself into a ton of bad debt all the way up to your nose, because that will just crush you. And what I mean here is more consumer debt, not necessarily investments or business or real estate, anything like that. What I mean by consumer debt is like any high interest car loans, personal loans, any credit card debt, anything like that. Just stay away from it. It's bad news, and it's really stupid to go and get yourself into it voluntarily. Just live below your means and pay either with a debit card or cash on anything such as that. Step 5, go and make some of that sweet bread. Okay, go and get your butt out the door. Go and get a job and start making some income if you don't already. And it doesn't have to be anything big. If it's a minimum wage job and you only work a couple hours a week, that's fine. Just make sure that you're getting some money in your pocket consistently. I really recommend starting a side hustle as well, and link in the description. I posted a video giving you guys some great side hustles that you can do to make a lot of cash really quickly. Get cash in your pocket because money makes money, and you won't be able to really experience the nice compounding that you could if you don't have at least a little bit of cash in your pocket. My first job was actually at a lobster shack where I would weigh lobsters, pay lobstermen, and then haul some heavy ass crates all the way up to this lobster tank. I would run food back and forth, be a busboy, clean up dishes, and it wasn't anything glamorous, and I think I only made like $5.50 or even $6 an hour. But it really helped me out, and that couple $100 that I made over the summer, I stashed away. From there, I've had a couple other weird gigs as well, and I've also started my own side hustles. Of course, here YouTube, I have monetized my channel, so I make a little bit of money here. I currently work Instacart, where I deliver groceries mainly, and I'm also studying to become a real estate agent to then have more of a career-oriented life. Although flipping stuff on the side can really make a lot of cash, I really like that as well. Anything like eBay, OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, and my friend and I also run a pressure washing business where we knock on doors and offer our services on cleaning anything you think of, like fences, driveways, walkways, roofs, you name it, and you can make some good money there as well. Step 6 is don't go and try to impress some people that you don't like, buying things that you don't like, and then regretting it in the future. Live below your means. If you make $40,000, try to act like you make $20,000. If you spend money on something, just think to yourself, will this make a long-term positive difference in my life? And if it doesn't, you might want to reconsider. Sacrifice your 20s and just stash away as much money as you can, because your youth can really help compound that money. And honestly, in that time period, you can withstand a little bit more stress of eating ramen noodles for 7 days a week. Now, I don't necessarily recommend that because I do think that your health is very important, but you get what I mean. Don't go and buy frivolous things that don't matter in the long term. Step 7. Now, this could be very controversial, but I really want these people to think about their college decision. I see a lot of people, specifically my own peers, who have gone off to college and they're just partying. They don't really know what they want to do, and they're getting themselves into a lot of debt doing it. You might want to rethink it, because what you might want to be might not actually need a college education. Now, if you're on the fence and you really don't know what you want to do, I highly suggest going to a community college, and then at least after 2 years, you'll be able to get an associate's degree and then go from there. It's a much cheaper option. You can typically live at home, continue to work, put money in your pocket, and still get an education. But really stay away from those student loans, because they are crippling hundreds of thousands of Americans, and it's just no good news. While going to community college, or if you decide not to, just get work experience, because work experience is a lot more valuable typically in today's modern society than some degree from whatever college. Now, of course, if you have a clear path that you want to do, like become an anesthesiologist or a lawyer or whatever, and you need that college degree, of course, by all means, I understand that. And I also understand if your parents are just paying for everything, and the big key is just not coming out of college with a ton of debt on your back, because that is no way to start a life. A lot of vocational skills are getting paid bufu bucks. I know some plumbers in my hometown are making upwards of $100,000, where some peers that thought they were stupid originally coming out of high school went and got themselves into $80,000 in debt and are currently making 50 grand a year just trying to pay that student loans off. And it's like, was it really worth it? But again, that's completely up to you. Now, step 8, this is going to be my last step of the video, although this is very, very important. Consistently invest, because this is going to be the big deciding factor in your financial freedom when you're older. A very easy and very consistent way is just investing in low-cost ETFs. The reason why is because they're very consistent, and typically a lot of fund managers who do all these crazy calculations are just trying to keep par with those. Invest consistently, and that is the biggest key here. If you're just consistent with your investments, I promise you, you will grow riches. When you deposit that into your investment account, just write that money off, don't even think about it, and you should be fine. Of course, always hold for the long term, because short-term fluctuations with paper hands is never a good sign for anyone who really wants to build true wealth. If you do that, you will definitely have enough money to retire and live very comfortably, so then you can be drinking a martini on a beach in Venice and not even have to worry about your finances. However, if you are young and you are a little bit more in the adventurous side and want to take more risks, by all means, just go and do that as well. While you're young, it's much more advantageous to lose some money now than in the future, because when you're 40, there's not as much time to recuperate that money, whereas if you're 18, you try to start a business, let's say you lose $10,000, $20,000, it's not the end of the world because you have time to make it up. If it pays off, great, you're leaps and bounds ahead of your peers. If it doesn't, whatever, it wasn't that big of a deal anyways. So for all my young adults out there who are watching this video and have gotten to this point, of course, you have to like the video, because you've stayed this long, you might as well. Do your own research, and again, this is no financial advice, disclaimer, this is just all my personal opinions and stuff that I've started to do since my 18th birthday. I wish you guys the best of luck, and I really hope you guys can make a great financial future for yourselves, and of course, good luck in the markets, and I'll see you guys next time.